Trump's message is very clear and simple. No more time for dialogue, no more time for speeches, no more time for diplomacy. If you try to bring your drugs here, you're gonna die. There's no other way to put it. You're gonna die.
The White House sharing this dramatic video of a U.S. strike blasting that boat. It was carrying drugs from Venezuela, killing 11 suspected Tren de Aragua members in the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday. Lucas Tomlinson is live in Washington. Lucas, this could just be the beginning.
President Trump always says the best way to achieve peace is through strength, not by being weak like Joe Biden was. Last year, over 100,000 of Americans died from drug overdoses. So it is clear, it is obvious drugs are a major problem here in America. It is obvious drugs are destroying American families. And of course, we all know Trump's priority is to put America first. Trump's agenda is to put American citizens first. So the president sending those troops near Venezuela is a smart move because prevention is better than cure. It's easier to fight the drug problems before the drugs get to America, because once the drugs get to America, so now you're not just fighting the cartels, you are also fighting the drug dealers in America. You are also providing support to these people consuming those drugs. It becomes 10x more effort.
There's no question about it, Brian. Good morning. When the Pentagon deployed that armada to the Caribbean, including an attack submarine, officials say it was not just going to be doing donuts in the water. This plan has been in the works for weeks. It's the first lethal operation since the American warships arrived on station. This unclassified drone footage shows a Go Faster speedboat getting annihilated, killing all 11 on board. For years, the U.S. military would shoot out the engine block, or a Coast Guard law enforcement detachment would jump on board and detain the crew. We used to run that tape. No longer. The Pentagon now given orders to kill. The president spoke about it yesterday.
That was a strong message. We do not negotiate with terrorists. This is a strong message. If you try to bring drugs here in America, we're going to kill you. That's it. There's no other way to put it. You're going to die.
We just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat, a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela.
And when you listen to the Venezuelan president, he's talking about, oh, these people were innocent, talking about we're not involved in any type of drugs, blah, 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 bunch of garbage, right? The president's wife right now, she has her two nephews in jail in America because they were trying to bring drugs to America. So the link is so strong with the president. So that's why when President Trump said, you know what, we're coming for you, we're coming to get you. I mean, the evidence speaks for itself, right? So the president of Venezuela also mentioned that, listen, the U.S. just want oil, you know, they're not really trying to fight drugs, blah, blah, you know. Now, I'm not going to be naive, act like, you know, two things cannot be true at once, because, you know, we know America. We know sometimes we are not the most innocent people in the world, especially when dealing with countries with a lot of resources. We know the oil reserve Venezuela has is probably the most in the world. So we know two things can be true at once. Even though I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican, I support President Trump from going to near Venezuela, you know, from sending the troops near Venezuela to make sure that those drugs don't come to America. Fully supported, but at the same time, I understand two things can be true at once. You know, I have to admit it. But it's hard to make that argument about, oh, we're just coming because of the oil, because the drug problem is so huge and they are not doing anything to help America. And here in America, we are losing Americans. So, of course, the president has to do something because something must be done.
The goal of the operation is to deny revenue to the Maduro regime in Venezuela, which receives over $8 billion from selling drugs on American streets and college campuses, the bulk coming from cocaine sales, as you see. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke in Miami yesterday en route to Ecuador.
The president's been very clear that he's going to use the full power of America and the full might of the United States to take on and eradicate these drug cartels, no matter where they're operating from and no matter how long they've been able to act with impunity. Those days are over. We are going to wage combat against drug cartels that are flooding American streets and killing Americans.
So we might need a new cocaine price index, or it might be a good time to dust off your copy of Clear and Present Danger or watch the movie. Hope I'm not dating myself, guys.
Nope, I think it all made the segment even better. Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lucas.
So, I mean, the president of the United States put some destroyers right off the coast of Venezuela, and you thought, what's he doing? Well, he put a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head of Venezuela, and you thought, okay, we're amping this up. We're not going to be taking their dirty oil anymore. We're going to do it ourselves. So what's he up to? He says it's about drugs. And this is proof of it. So if you're a drug trafficker, you're going to be targeted. And this, according to Marco Rubio, he believes this boat first was heading to Trinidad. And then from there, that drugs ends up with us. Not anymore. Anything coming off the coast is going to be a target.
So you guys may remember when, and we're going to have the Secretary on, Pete Hicks, Secretary of Defense, on later, but one of his first trips was to the Mexican border, and we went to Fort Bliss with the Secretary. And during that briefing, it was about Southern Command and all these narco-terrorists. Well, they kicked us out later on because they wanted to start the classified version, but when they came out, the message that the Secretary had for the country was, we know exactly where all of these narco-terrorists are. And before, there was this hands-off approach trying to work with these governments to get rid of them. No longer with this president. He knows exactly where they are, and they're going to be targeting him.
Yeah. Yesterday in the Oval Office, President Trump was talking about this, and then he posted the video on Truth Social. So he's being very transparent with all of us and saying this is what's going to happen and sending a clear message down to Venezuela and other countries that are trying to smuggle in drugs through our waters here to the United States. Because you heard Marco Rubio say what they do is they leave Venezuela with all, they're smart. They know how to do this. These are gangs. These are terrorist organizations. Then they go to Puerto Rico, and then the drugs are smuggled into the mainland of the United States of America. But TDA is a designated foreign terrorist organization. They're responsible, remember, for murdering, for drug trafficking, sex trafficking, for violence, and for terror. And Donald Trump on Truth Social said, let this be a notice to everybody, even thinking about bringing drugs into the USA. Beware.
The president calling the strike a notice to anybody, even thinking about bringing drugs into the U.S. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Army and former General Counsel to the Navy, Van Hipp, joins us now. Van, how significant was that hit?
I think it was very significant. It shows that this president, Brian, is going to do whatever it takes to keep this country and the American people safe. I think it was President Harry Truman who said that the president has the power to do whatever it takes to keep the country from going to hell. And I think that's what you're seeing here, whether it is securing our borders, where it's attacking violent crime in our big cities, or if it's stopping the flow of illegal drugs into this country that are killing our kids. This president is doing whatever it takes to keep this country from going to hell.
And we should also mention President Biden and Kamala Harris did everything they could to send this country to hell. But in 2024, in the general election, the Lord said, enough is enough. We must protect America.
Estimated that the cartels have lost $1 billion since Donald Trump took office because he's shut down the border. The El Paso section alone used to have 2,700 illegals stream through there. It's down to 40, and none of them are getting in. If you look at what with Venezuelan drug trafficking estimated income is, cocaine, over $8 billion. Estimates on marijuana, over $50 million. Proceeds total, $8.2 billion. That's going to stop. But what do you think, besides those ships, those fast boats, trying to get to the Caribbean or to our border, what are the 5 destroyers doing in the region? While Maduro's got a $50 million bounty on his head, what do you think's happening?
Well, the president has basically deployed a flotilla of ships, and we're talking about at least 3 of these Aegis guided missile destroyers. And what that does, Brian, it gives you the capability to withstand an attack from air, land, sea, ship to ship, submarine, you name it. So I think it was a wise decision by the president. And when you look at the Venezuelan military, you're talking about roughly 120,000 active duty personnel. And as far as their maritime capability is concerned, you're mainly talking about patrol boats. So I think we're in good shape down there.
Although I believe it's a great idea for Trump to send those troops near Venezuela, that way we know what they're trying to bring here and destroy everything they attempt to bring to America, not just the drugs, also destroy the people that try to bring those drugs. But I don't believe it will be a good thing for the president to send those troops on Venezuelan soil. We don't want to start another war, even though Venezuela could never stand in front of this great country named America. But we don't want another war, right? So let's just stay on the water, international water. We're not at their house, we're we good, and then until the president, if the president get his stuff together, stop working with the cartel, so he can make sure that, listen, those drugs no longer come in, and then Trump can carry on with his America First agenda, and then hopefully finish deporting all these criminal migrants here in America. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I think it was a great news. I think what happened last night with this boat, it was a strong and powerful message President Trump sent to anyone that tries to bring, or that has the idea to bring anything bad to America. This is exactly what we're waiting for you. Thanks for watching again, guys. You stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.